Good morning, Team Alabama. We are going to read again in Don't You Dare Read This, Mrs. Dunfree. We're on page 86. You should be getting close to your 50 to 70 facts, your 10 vocab, and your 10 questions. On the vocab, please remember that you need to number all of these, your facts, your vocab, and your questions, and you need to put the definition on the opposite side of the word. So we're on page 86 today, and that is February the 26th. We stopped at the very top of the page, and we're going to start on February the 26th. Please find it on your Chromebook and read with me as I read this with you. Add to your facts, your vocab, and your questions. February 26th. Don't read this, Mrs. Dunfree. I went to pick Matt up after school today, and he was slow coming out, so I had a long time to stand there watching all the other kids. They all looked so happy, dressed in all sorts of bright colors, laughing and talking to each other, and then Matt came out. Pretty much at the last. His coat is dull gray, one I got for him at Goodwill last fall. He hadn't buttoned it at all, and it was kind of falling off one of his shoulders because it was a little big for him. His shirt had come untucked from his pants, and his pants had holes in both knees. His hair was sticking out all over the place, like he hadn't combed it in about 3 days. He looked like one of those kids that everybody picked on when I was in grade school, and like he might cry at any minute. He looked like some kid nobody loved. And I planned to make macaroni and cheese or something and just spend all night at home, or maybe leave Matt at home while I went to a party with Rochelle. But when I saw how awful Matt looked, I decided I had to do something special. We walked home, and I told him to take a bath and put on his best clothes. I called Rochelle and told her, forget the party. I was sick. I put on this dress that Mom insisted on me buying a year ago for some neighbor's funeral. I mean, me in a dress. And then I took Matt over to the Burger Boy and told him to order anything he wanted. I got paid yesterday. At least I get paid, unlike Mom. I told him that we were celebrating being on our own. See, I said, I told you we could get along just fine without Mom and Dad. Just talking about it made him get all sniffly. Okay, sniffly might be a good word for you to add, like close to tears. Sniffly, close to tears. But I quick changed the subject and started telling him jokes about talking cows and friendly robots and any sort of nonsense that I could make up. And after a while he was laughing with me. I pretended to fly French fries around his head before parking them in his mouth. He laughed a lot at that, and the other customers at the Burger Boy were looking at us like we were happier than them. And then, when we were leaving, Lexi Samuels, who was behind the counter tonight, asked me, "Is that your little brother? He's really cute." He did look really cute then. He'd even slicked his hair back like that kid in the Home Alone movies. And then I almost ruined the whole thing when we got home and Matt showed me this picture that he'd drawn for school. He said the teacher had told him to draw their family, and Matt had just drawn himself in a picture of a bigger girl with lots of brown hair, me, standing outside a white house. It was a good picture. The kids even kind of looked like Matt and me. But it was like advertising. Our mother and father left us. You didn't draw Mom, I said. Did the teacher ask you why not? I almost went crazy when Matt said yes. So what'd you say? I asked, trying not to panic. I told her we were at our grandma's and that she was in the house waiting to take care of us. He said, was that wrong? I told him that was a good answer, and I hugged him so that he'd know that I wasn't mad. February 28th. What day did Mom leave again? How long's Mom been gone? Since the 12th. We're February the 28th. She's been taking care of Matt all this time on her own. Don't read this, Mrs. Dunfree. It's really late, and I can't sleep again for worrying. All these bills have started coming in the mail, and even more than I thought. And I mean, I didn't even know that people had to pay for water. And the city wants almost $20 just for that. Almost all the bills say they don't have to be paid until the middle of next month. I hope I can figure out something by then. Maybe Mom will even come back before then. Yeah, right. At least one of the bills, the one for Mom's credit card, kind of solved a mystery. Guess what? All those big presents that Dad got us, even that dinner at Shoney's, he put on Mom's credit card. I bet he's the one who took Mom's missing Christmas money too. What a nice guy, huh? There were lots of other things on the bill too. Lots of bar tabs at the Alibi Inn that I know were Dad's, not Mom's, because Mom can't drink more than one beer without falling asleep. And it looks like the card was maxed out the day after Christmas. So Dad just left when he couldn't use Mom's card anymore. It wasn't my fault at all. At least that's what I want to think. If it's not my fault Dad left, it's not my fault Mom left either. So why do I feel guilty every time I see how sad Matt looks? Why do I feel like I deserve to have all these problems, keeping everything secret, not having enough money, always worrying about Matt? Everything's so screwed up. I crochet a little bit more on the old Afghan tonight after Matt went to bed. It's strange how that makes me feel better. Some, anyway. I guess it's about the only thing I have left to remind me of Grandma. For some reason, I've been thinking a lot lately about the day that she died. It was summertime, and I was out in the vacant lot behind our house. You might want to add vacant, means empty. Vacant lot, an empty lot. Playing hide and seek with this neighbor girl, Misty Tyler, and I heard Mom in the house scream out, "Help! Somebody! Call an ambulance!" I got up and ran inside, and Misty yelled, "Wait! I didn't find you yet!" And by the time I got in the house, one of the neighbors had gotten Mom calmed down and called an ambulance, and I shoved my way back to Grandma's room. It's Matt's room now, and she was lying on the floor, not moving, and it's weird. I haven't seen Grandma fall or anything, but I could picture just how it would be. Her legs going limp like a piece of yarn, and her falling sideways until her knees and her hips and her elbows, then her head hit the ground. I don't know, maybe it had happened before. This time I stood there saying, "Grandma, Grandma, Grandma," until finally she opened her eyes. "Tish," she kind of whispered, find Matt." I went back to my room. Matt and I shared then, and he was hiding under the bed. And by the time I got him pulled out, and the ambulance people were there, and they kept saying, "Out of the way, kids." So I didn't get to see Grandma again. And Mom called us from the hospital that night and told us Grandma was dead. It's so odd. Before Grandma died, I wouldn't have said I felt safe. I wouldn't have said that I felt good about my life. But after she died, it seemed like if she was just alive again, everything would be fine. It's like I've been walking a tightrope with a big safety net underneath me. But I never really thought about the net until someone took it away, and then every single step scared me to death. Maybe I keep thinking about Grandma dying now to remind myself that it was worse to have her die than to have Mom leave. Okay, we're going to stop there for today. Okay, talk to me about Grandma being a safety net. What does that mean? Does it mean that she felt safer with Grandma? That all these things going on are just a struggle for her? I don't know. Write a few facts about what you know, the new things that you heard today, and then some questions that